Hi guys, today we are going to elaborate the different kind of Indian embroidery, their origin, how their application, their designs, everything. So here we go. Uh, Thread of India, the art of embroidery. Namaste. Ever wondered how a simple needle weaves empire? Welcome to the mesmerizing world of Indian embroidery, where silk whispers legends and stitches hold centuries of soul. Born in the Indus Valley over 5,000 years ago, embroidery evolved with invaders and artisans. Mughals gifted us zardozi, gold and silver wires, into peacocks and florals on bridal sherwanis. Watch this Ari needlecraft satin stitches that shimmers like royal jewels. From Punjab mustard field spring fulkari flower work. Bold dori threads in dhanak patterns create geometric paisley on dupattas. Its bridal magic charpatta borders for life cycles. Hand stitched over weeks, no two likes. Lucknow's chicken curry teases the eye with jalis, open work, and shadow work, delicate white on white cottons, cooling like moonlight gardens. Bengal's katha recycles old fabrics into storytelling quilts. Sujni stitches narrating village tales, and Gujarat Sujani mirror fukar that dance with light. Today for 2026, designers fuse these with digital print and sustainable yarns. Imagine chicken curry athleisure or kantha upcycled denim. Timeless craft meets tomorrow's runway. Indian embroidery is not just art, it's heritage stitched into every thread. Chikankari embroidery. Chikankari is a traditional hand embroidery technique originating from Lucknow, India, renowned for its delicate white on white stitches on lightweight fabrics. It blends Persian influence with Indian craftsmanship, often featuring floral motifs and shadow work. Origin of chikankari embroidery. Chikankari traces back to the Mughal era, possibly introduced by Empress Noor Jahan, evolving from 3rd century BC embroidered muslins. Lucknow's Chowk area remained its main hub, with production centered there and nearby districts. Techniques used in chikankari embroidery. The process starts with block printing patterns on fabric like cotton, muslin, or georgette using washable ink. Artisans then hand embroider using 32 distinct stitches, followed by meticulous washing to reveal the intricate design. Modern pieces incorporate colors, thread, silk threads, sequins, or beads for contemporary appeal. Key stitches used in chikankari embroidery. Bakhia. Shadow work done on the fabric's underside for a subtle outline effect. Jali stitches. Open lace-like mesh created by drawing threads apart without piercing the fabric. Muri thread. Rice-shaped French knot often at flower center, a rare prized stitch. Tepchi stitch. Running stitch forming lines or bases for other motifs. Fanda stitch. Satin stitch for filling bold shapes. Fabrics and uses for chikankari embroidery. Best suited to sheer soft materials like malmar or chiffon that highlight shadow effects and allow needle penetration, commonly seen in kurtas, saris, dupattas, and home linen. It prized for summer wear due to breathability. Zari or Zardozi embroidery. Zari and Zardozi are luxurious metallic embroidery techniques rooted in Indian heritage, often used interchangeably but distinct in execution and opulence. Zardozi represents the pinnacle of elaborate handwork with gold or silver wires, while Zari refers to the shimmering metallic threads themselves applied via various methods. Origin of Zari and Zardozi embroidery. Zardozi originated in Persia during the Mughal era, flourishing in Lucknow and Hyderabad under royal patronage for royal garments and architecture. Zari threads evolved from pure gold and silver wires beaten flat, later using coated silk for affordability while retaining the regal sheen. Techniques used in Zari and Zardozi embroidery. Zardozi employs needles or hooked oil Ari to coil, wrap, and layer heavy metal wires. beads, sequins, and pearls onto fabric like velvet or silk, creating raised three-dimensional motifs. Zari work often via ari hook, weaves, metallic threads more fluidly for intricate but flatter patterns, sometimes overlapping with Zardozi styles. So key difference between zari work and Zardozi work. So tools used in zari work is ari, hook or timber for weaving. Tools used in Zardozi work is needle and awl for coiling and stitching. Textures in zari work is flat to semi-raised shimmering. Texture in Zardozi work is heavily embossed, luxurious. Complexity in zari work, faster detailed floral lines. Complexity in Zardozi work, slower ornate with embellishments. Cost come in zari work is moderate. Cost for Zardozi work is higher due to labor and material. Motifs and uses in Zari and Zardozi work. Common designs include floral paisley, peacocks, and geometrics. Zardozi favors grand narrative scenes for bridal lehengas and sherwanis, while Zari suits everyday saris and home textiles. Both thrives on rich fabric, blending tradition with modern fusion. Mukesh embroidery. Mukesh embroidery is a delicate metal embroidery technique featuring tiny gold or silver dots and wires embedded into lightweight fabrics for a subtle shimmer originating from Lucknow's Awadh region. It traditionally enhances chikankari by adding a sparkle to evening wear. Origin of Mukesh embroidery. This craft dates back to the 3rd century BC or Mughal era, late 16th century. Introduced for royalty using pure precious metals before shifting to coated alloys, it pairs seamlessly with chikankari's white threads, elevating muslin outfits for Nawabs and nobles. Lucknow's chalk remains a key hub practiced by skilled male artisans and women crafting dots at home. Techniques used in Mukesh embroidery. The process involves 3 steps. Primer printing motifs with gum indigo blocks called chapai. Embedding flattened metal wires via fine needles into fabric is takai. And polishing with cow rye shells for shine called ghutai. It creates non-bulky dots that avoid skin irritation, ideal for sheer bases like chiffon or georgette. Key styles in Mukesh embroidery is one is Fardi ka kaam, that is tiny dots in patterns like Hazar Buti, thousands of sparks, or tikki sequence like flaps. The next style is Kamdani. Kamdani is elaborate wire motifs woven with threads for complex jals or leaves. Uses and revival of Mukesh embroidery is historically for royal saris and lehengas. Modern designers blend it into fusion wear with geometric twist. It's rare today due to labor intensity but available in Lucknow's Aminabad market. Fulkari embroidery. Fulkari is a vibrant Punjabi embroidery style meaning flower work, featuring bold floral and geometric motifs stitched with silk floss or coarse cotton or khaddarpa fabric. It traditionally created by women using a double satin stitch from the reverse side, allowing the colored threads to fully cover the base for a striking effect. Origin of Fulkari embroidery. Fulkari traces back to at least the 15th century in Punjab, spanning modern India and Pakistan, with possible roots in 7th century floral embroidery mentioned in ancient texts. It flourished under Maharaja Ranjit Singh, serving as heirlooms in wedding trousseaux, symbolizing prosperity and passed down generations. Techniques used in Fulkari embroidery. Design emerged without tracing, counted from the back using untwisted silk threads, called pat, in bright hues like red, yellow, and green. Stitches include darning or for dense coverage, creating patterns like chamba, full ground coverage, or bark, sparse motifs. Fabrics are washed post embroidery to set the vivid colors. Key types of Fulkari embroidery. One is Bag, heavy embroidered covering most of the fabric. Next is Fulkari, lighter sparse floral designs. Next is Chamba, fully covered ground or net. Next is Darshan, small veils for temple offering. Uses of Fulkari embroidery, primarily for dupattas, ornis, and chaddars in rituals. It now appears in modern saris, kurtas, and fusion wear. Rural Punjab women continue the craft, blending tradition with contemporary. Kashida embroidery. Kashida embroidery, also known as Kashida Kari, is a sophisticated Kashmiri craft featuring elongated paisley motifs inspired by nature, stitched to cover large fabric areas with vibrant silk floss or wool threads. It stands out for its fluid, paisley dominated designs drawn from the region's floral landscapes. Often executed by skilled male artisans or shawls and garments. Origin of Kashida embroidery. Rooted in Kashmir's Mughal era, 16th century, Kashida evolved from Persian influences under royal patronage, with legends linking it to Sufi saints or Sultan Zain ul Abidin. It began as a way to embellish plain shawls, transforming them into status symbols for elites, and was historically practiced by men in Srinagar. Techniques used in Kashida Kari. Artisans use chain stitches or satin stitches with thick colorful threads on wool, silk, or cotton. Bases. Filling motifs like almond-shaped paisley, chinar leaves, and flowers without preliminary tracing. The work extends paisley tails dramatically across the fabric for a bold narrative effect, sometimes incorporating beads or mirrors. Key features of Kashida Kari. Predominantly paisley. Pattern with nature-inspired tendrils. Large-scale coverage on shawls, suits, and home textiles. Contrast of vivid thread against cream or dark backgrounds. Uses of Kashida Kari. Traditionally for firans, shawls, and wedding trousseau. It now graces modern saris, kurtas, and fusion apparel, blending heritage with contemporary design while preserving Kashmir's artisanal legacy. Chamba Rumal embroidery. Chamba Rumal embroidery is a fine double-sided hand embroidery from Himachal Pradesh, Chamba Valley, resembling miniature painting with identical motifs visible on both fabric faces. It uses untwisted silk flows in double satin stitch or malmal cloth, creating shaded three-dimensional effect for storytelling scenes. Origin of Chamba Royal Rumal embroidery. Developed in the 17th 18th century under Chamba rulers like Raja Umed Singh, it drew from Pahari miniature paintings and Kashmir's Dorukha techniques after Mughal decline. Royal women crafted rumals, handkerchief, as wedding gifts symbolizing goodwill, with motifs from Ramayana, Mahabharata, Krishna Leelas, and local flora fauna. Techniques used in Chamba Rumal embroidery. Outlines are sketched in charcoal. Artisans fill designs from both sides using do hookah stitch for reversible perfection, employing 7 to 14 colors like red, blue, and green for depth. No machines involved. Pure handwork on square cloths, polished for sheen. Key motifs used in Chamba Rumal embroidery are Radha Krishna, Shiv Parvati, or epic battles. Floral borders, animals, and courtly haunts. Vibrant yet symmetrical, covering entire surfaces. Uses and status. Originally ceremonial coverlets or dowry items. Now GI tagged 2007 for shawls, dupattas, and saris. Revived by artists like Lalita Walki. Kantha embroidery. Kantha embroidery is a traditionally Bengali running stitch craft that repurposes old saris, dhotis, and fabrics into layered quilts or single cloth embroideries, featuring folk motifs, animals, and daily life scenes. Originating from rural Bengal, West Bengal, India, and Bangladesh, it embodies thrift and storytelling through simple, repetitive stitches that create ripple textures. Origin of Kantha embroidery. Tracing back to the pre-Vedic age, like 1500 BCE or Indus Valley quilting, Kantha evolved from Buddhist monks patching rags, kontha, for warmth, later becoming household heirlooms by women. It nearly vanished in the 19th century but was revived in the 1940s by Pratima Devi, Rabindranath Tagore's sister-in-law, at Shantiniketan. Techniques used in Kantha embroideries. Women layer 4 to 7 soft cotton pieces, outline motifs in black from the top, then fill with straight running stitches. In colored threads, selvages from borders, Nakshi Kantha adds intricate figurative designs. The process often softens fabrics naturally over time, yielding wrinkled vintage appeal without frames. Key types of Kantha embroidery. Type is lep. Lep is quilted blanket for warmth. Sujni. Sujni is single layer decorative spread. Or is edge stitched runners or bags. Nakshi. Nakshi is narrative embroidered storytelling. Uses of Kantha embroidery. For practical bed covers and baby wraps to modern saris, jackets, and home decor, Kantha symbolizes sustainability and women's creativity, now globally popular in ethical fashion. Sujni embroidery. Sujni embroidery is a Bihar origin craft featuring intricate motifs on single layer cotton or silk fabric, using fine running stitches, Kantha like, with colorful threads outlined in black or brown. Chain stitches for a tone-on-tone wavy effect. It evolved from quilting old saris and dhotis into decorative pieces, distinct from multi-layered kantha by its straight line stitches and dense 105 to 210 stitches per square inch. Origin of Sujani embroidery. Emerging in the 1920s from Bhusura village, Muzaffarpur district. It was initially crafted by Rajput women as gifts. Sujni meaning beautiful gift from the heart. Revived in the 1960s to 70s by social workers amid economic shift. Shifting from rural utility to commercial art, techniques used in Sujni embroidery. Designs are traced with wheel and chalk on cream fabric. Backgrounds get subtle running stitches in matching tones, while motifs like sun, clouds, elephants, fish are outlined in chain stitch and filled directionally from back to front. Labor intensive, large pieces need time. Final wash removes marking for a soft finish. Key motifs used in Sujani embroidery. Common themes draw from nature and protection, fertility symbols, peacocks, horses, floral patterns in crimson, yellow, and vibrant fills against neutral grounds. Uses of Sujani embroidery transforms into saris, dupatta, stoles, bedspreads, and bags. Its simplicity suits a modern ethical fashion while honoring Bihar's folk heritage. Gotapatti. Gotapatti embroidery, also called Gota work, is a radiant Rajasthani applique embroidery using flat gold or silver metallic ribbons, Gota, stitched onto lightweight fabrics like chiffon, georgette, or silk for festive shimmers. Origin of Gotapatti. Rooted in the Mughal era, 16th century, it was introduced via Persian influences under Humayun and refined by Rajput artisans in Jaipur, Ajmer, and Udaipur for royal attire, evolving from pure precious metals to affordable coated zari. Techniques used in Gotapatti. Artisans cut Gota ribbons into shapes, fold edges to prevent fraying, then applique them in loops or twist using ari needle or tambour hook, often outlining with zari or sequins for motifs like flowers, peacock, and jali patterns. Key features used in Gotapatti embroidery. First, non-bulky reflective stripes mimicking jewelry. Borders and edging dominate paired with bandhani or lahariya prints. Sustainable reuse of ribbon scraps. Uses of Gotapatti. Essential for bridal lehengas, ghagras, sherwanis, dupattas, and turbans in Rajasthan and Gujarat weddings. Modern fusions include kurtas and accessories. Mirror work. Mirror work, also known as shisha or abhala embroidery, is a sparkling traditional Indian technique where small round mirrors are affixed to fabric to create reflective, eye-catching designs. Popular in Rajasthan, Gujarat, Kutch, and Sindh region. It adds playful shimmers to garments through surroundings, colorful stitches like chain stitches, buttonhole stitches, or herringbone stitches. Origin of mirror work. Tracing back to the 17th century, Persia and introduced to India during the Mughal era. It initially used mica seeds before evolving to hand-blown or machine-cut glass mirrors. Tribal communities like the Jats of Kutch adapted it with varying mirror sizes for distinct styles, blending it into nomadic attire. Techniques used in mirror embroidery. Mirrors are placed over fabric, holes, or foundations, secured by radiating stitches from center to edge, often with back stitches or blanket-like loops to encase edges safely. Surrounding embroidery in vibrant threads forms floral, geometric, or animal motifs, with modern versions adding sequins or beads. Regional styles of mirror work. Reasons and characteristics. Kutch, Gujarat. Large mirrors on books, animal eyes. In Rajasthan, dense cluster on cholis and lehenga. In Kathi, tiny mirrors in flower centers. Uses of mirror embroidery. Common on festive ghagras, ornis, kurtas, and home decor like cushion covers. It pairs with bandhani or applique for bridal wear, enhancing vibrancy in fairs like Pushkar. Banjara and Lamri embroidery. Banjara and Lamri embroidery refers to the same vibrant nomadic craft practiced by the Banjara, also called Lambani or Lamani. community across Rajasthan, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana, featuring bold geometric patterns, mirrors, cowrie, shells, beads, coins, and bells on red cotton fabrics. Origin of Banjara and Lumbri embroidery. Rooted in the semi-nomadic Banjara tribes, descendants of Rajput warriors who transported goods during Mughal times. This women's craft symbolizes prosperity. Cowries for wealth, mirrors for protection, and evolved from 19th century settlement into agriculture while preserving freehand baby stitches passed mother to daughter. Techniques used in Banjara and Lumbri embroidery. Using 14th stitch chase types like chain stitches, herringbone stitches, running stitch, cross, and bargello on coarse mill cotton. Artisans create patchwork borders with applique mirror, shells, and tassels. Motifs drawn from rangoli, triangles, diamonds, lozenges in primary colors like red, yellow, green, black. Key features are wavy imperfect lines from freehand work for organic feel. Heavy embellishments covering entire surfaces. Symbolic elements like ghungru bells on edges. Uses traditionally for skirts, ghagra, blouses, choli, bags, pouches, and headdresses. Now in boho jacket, stoles, and home decor, blending tribal heritage with commercial fusion wear. Kasuti embroidery. Kasuti is a precise knotless embroidery from Karnataka, India, using counted thread techniques or ikkal saris and silk fabric to create symmetrical geometric motifs like temple, gopuras, lotus flower, and chariots. It employs four stitches: gavanthi, double running, murgi, zigzag, negi, darning, and methi, cross, ensuring identical designs on both fabric sides. Origin of Kasuti embroidery. Dating to the 7th century in Dharwad, Bijapur district from Chalukya rule. Kasuti derives from Kannad Kai and Suti, cotton thread, traditionally adorning black silk Chandrakala saris as bridal heirloom. Karnataka Handicrafts Government Corporation, it reflects temple architecture and folk symbols. Techniques used in Kashuti embroidery. Designs are counted from fabric weaves without tracing. Artisans use single strand black silk or mercerized cotton, stitching forward then back to fill lines horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. For flawless reversibility, up to 5,000 stitches per piece demand patience on cotton or khadi basis. Key motifs used in Kashuti embroidery. Floral lotuses, birds, and mythical scenes. Architectural elements like Mysore places or rathas. Vibrant yet understand often in red, green, or gold. Uses of Kasuti embroidery enhances saris, blouse, and home linens. Revived for contemporary kurtas and accessories. Sustaining women's cotton craft in rural Karnataka. Kutch embroidery. Kutch embroidery encompasses distinct styles like Soof and Rabri, practiced by tribal women in Gujarat Kutch region, known for geometric precision and bold mirror work on cotton fabric. Origin of Kutch embroidery. Soof emerged among Sodha Rajput and Mutwa migrants in the 16th-17th centuries, emphasizing neat and clean, counted stitches reflecting pastoral migrations. Rabri traces to 14th century Sindh nomads, evolving as portable wealth symbols with mythologically influence from Sufi sands. Techniques used in Kutch embroidery. Soof uses freehand reverse darning on weft counts for symmetrical chevrons and triangles, reversible and machine-like in precision without outlines. Rabari employs square chain interlaced with buttonhole stitches, fixing varied mirrors, squares, and circles via radiating threads for vigorous abstract patterns. Key difference are style for Soof and Rabari. Soof, the stitches used are counted darning and stitches and texture used in Rabari is chain and buttonhole bold. Mirror and motifs for Soof is geometrical, minimal, or refined lines. Mirrors and motifs used in Rabari is abundant shapes and animals. Uses of Soof adorns saris and home linens. Rabari enhances ghagras, blouses, and wall hangings, blending tradition into modern bags and jackets. Dongri and Pipli applique are vibrant patchwork techniques from India where colored fabric pieces are cut into motifs and layered onto base cloths, often enhanced with embroidery, mirrors, or satin stitching for festive depth. Origins: Pipli applique hails from Odisha temple town of Pipli, practiced by Darji tailor families since the 12th century for ceremonial canopies and Jagannath Rath Yatra banners. Dongri appliques from Gujarat, Kutch, and Kathiawar tribes like Bhutia and Harijans evolved from nomadic repair work into decorative tribal textiles. Techniques used in Dongri and Pipli applique. Artisans trace cut fabrics patches, often cotton or silk in primarily fabric, and whip stitch or satin stitch edge on to base fabric like tarpaulin or canvas. Pipli favors tight buttonhole edges for 3D effect, while Dongri incorporates main stitches and cowries for boldness. Key features for Pipli and Dongri. For Pipli, the motif and embellishments are elephants, peacocks, flowers, mirrors, and sequence work. And for Dongri, motifs and embellishments are geometric animals, stars, shells, and tassels. Uses of Pipli creates umbrellas, shrines, covers, and cushions for festivals. Dongris adorns bags and wall hangings, both now in modern home decor and fusion garments.